Didn't have any words today, Tony. That's all I had. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Atomic Mass Transmissions Live. Today we're painting up fifth brother, seventh sister. Maybe just the seventh sister. I don't know. We're just going to paint. I got them both here. We'll see what happens. Thanks for joining us. I'm thinking about just doing standard black color scheme today. Nothing too weird. Just see how it goes. Just have some fun and paint them up and see where we get in an hour. Let's kick it to the minicam, Tony. Dark warm gray, dark neutral gray. Let's go dark neutral gray. Seeker's like, Tony. Hey Tony, what's going on today? Hey Tony. Tony was busy all morning, I saw him. No comment, huh? Legion, yeah, we're painting, I got the fifth brother and seventh sister. Maybe I'll just focus on seventh sister. Who knows? Prime black or dark gray? Black. Prime black. Let's do her skin first. I want to start with the golden brown. Yo, TK, what up, everybody? How goes it? Welcome to the chat. Say hello, shout out. The swoosh is modeled onto the saber. I love when people go, I know the rule, but. That's a classic Tony move too. I know the rule, but can we do this? Will there be more Legion and or Shatterpoint product announcement at Adepticon? I would say you should definitely be paying attention to Adepticon. I would say if you're missing Adepticon, you're missing a lot. Read the panel announcement at Adepticon page? Yeah, absolutely. Excited to see how you paint the swoosh. I need pointers. Well, you know, let's make sure we get to the swoosh. So we painted mini lightsabers in the past. We did a whole video on it, didn't we? I'm going to use off-white, which is the Pro Acryl Heavy Warm White. I like warm colors for this. Yeah, if you're not going to Adepticon, first off, what are you doing with yourself? You've had all year to prepare. And then secondly, if you're not going to Adepticon, you should definitely be paying attention to what we're doing at Adepticon. You came back from our family Caribbean vacation a day before that. Well, that just means you fly them from the Caribbean home, and you fly from the Caribbean to Chicago. Put a little gray in there for the skin. And then let's start the black while we wait for those to dry. So we're going to use this light gray. It's actually not light gray. Which one did I say it was? Dark warm gray. Yeah, plan those family vacations around Adepticon. Tony's going to Adepticon with me.
I'll be there.
You're going to be there on a Monday. Who in the chat is going to Adepticon? Who are we going to see at Adepticon? Spike, you're just going to have to get over there to Adepticon, I'm telling you. It's where all the good stuff is going to happen. Calfry's going to be there. Seeker's going to be there. Brendan Roy's going to be there. You know, the last time Brendan Roy was seen at a convention, like he's like a Sasquatch. Not just because he's hairy, but because he's just rare to see, like, in the wild. Ben Comets will be hanging out with us, judging the worthy. Liz Beckley. Can't forget Liz Beckley. Mark Sarastro, like, is going to be hanging out with us. We may have sent Mark a whole bunch of Shatterpoint miniatures for his classes. Tony, do you follow Jose Da Vinci on Instagram?
Yes, I do.
I feel like channeling my inner Jose Da Vinci painting today. Like he does all those little scritchy scritches. Let's give it a go. Let's do things we've never done before. Why not? I bet we're going to see many other friends of the studio, like Aaron Lovejoy and Liz Hunt. Maybe even who else do I know is going? Sam Lynn. Sam Lynn's will be there. So, like, if you love painting miniatures, I'm telling you, we'd really love to see you hanging out with us at Adepticon. Delete that chat. Do you sometimes use washes? Is it practical reasons drying time that you don't use them? I use washes, yeah, absolutely. Depending on what and when I'm doing. There is every technique is a useful technique. It's just I like to wield techniques very specifically to get jobs done. So I use washes and dry brushing, and I use every technique. It just depends on what I'm trying to accomplish and all that kind of jazz. Right now I'm just doing like little sketches because I think it'll be fun. But if I felt like I needed to wash something, I would whip out a wash. Also, I'm a firm believer in washes are not things. Wash is a technique. I can turn any paint into a wash. I don't have to buy any special washes, although it is nice sometimes to just buy something and have it ready to go. All the great hobby friends trapped in the suburbs of Chicago with nothing better to do than hang out together. It's perfect. You had a hot dog from Portillo's, and I agree, Kel. And then my joy goes through the roof. Faded green. Can you scroll up just a little bit, Tony? I missed some of that when I was down in the paint.
More?
Yeah, up. I can up past Zargogo. I feel like there's some chats. You're not scrolling at all.
Oh, sorry. I realize I'm scrolling on my chat, not on your chat.
Oh, okay, down from there. Shatterpoint, best buds and frenemies. Intriguing. Not sure if you can answer this, but will the new event rules that were just shared be available in a store kit? I'm not sure what you're talking about, Ben Fett. So we're going to use a little bit of that gray that we use for the armor in the flesh tone. Yeah, I'm not sure what those event rules were. I'm not a developer. just a scooch as well. Do you always texture the base, or no? I texture my bases. I'm old school. I like a good textured base. I like making sure, like, you know, I do sort of make sure my bases match my armies. But I also have sort of a generic base that I do sometimes as well, and this is more the generic base. Let's do warm gray. Or no, let's do neutral gray. Well, I think I like the neutral gray. Yeah, sorry, I'm not always quite up to date on which event is which. And you know, stuff like that. Because we do a lot of stuff, and I really like the bases that come in SharePoint. I have some texture stuff on them, but Legion is fun that you can do your own texturing. You can do your own texturing on your Shatterpoint as well. For me, I consider every base as blank. You know, I've textured my MCP, I've textured my Shatterpoint bases. Like, you can just cover right over that stuff and it works perfectly fine. Right, it's just plastic. There's literally no difference at all between covering up that one or this one. L, what up? Welcome to Chat. Welcome to Chat. We're talking about Inquisitors and bases and Adepticon. And where we're all gonna go eat at Adepticon. Yeah, I definitely consider all bases are blank. They're just ideas. Like all miniatures. Miniatures are just starting points. Like it's just starting points. You know, we have to pick a starting point to produce the miniature, and we have a lot of you know, concessions and considerations that we have to take when we're designing stuff for hard plastic. But the reality is, miniatures are just a starting point for your imagination. So you can go crazy and you can add stuff, you can change it. There's nothing wrong with that. And then, you know, like I said, for bases themselves, you know, just because we do sculpted bases in a box doesn't mean you can't cover that. Very easily. Schick has done videos on covering bases. I've done videos on covering bases, where we take the existing bases and we just make them our own. And everybody has their preference, and that's great. That's perfect. Unfortunately, with 8 billion people in the world, everybody has their preference. I can't hit everybody's preference. I'd be amazing if I could.
I was gonna say, I think it's just a math problem. Man.
It's just math. It's just my own failing as a human, Tony. I like them neat and discreet so they don't steal the show. There's an old rule. There's a very, very old rule. Tony, do you know the old rule of miniatures? Faces and bases. It's an old saying. Goes way back to the 80s, maybe even 70s. You make a good base, paint a good face, and you got one heck of a miniature. You know, I'll even say you got a hell of a miniature. What do you think of that? Clear bases? I'm not a big fan of clear bases. To me, a clear base doesn't tell the story. But that's my preference. But I think that the bases should tell a story along with the paint job you do. Enviro bases for Umbra operative ARC troopers? That sounds dope. Sounds super dope. Like I said, we've done a couple of videos on how to make the sculpted bases uniquely yours. And you know, I think it's something that's very fun and interesting when I go to a convention or go online and I see somebody take the sculpted base and elevate it or transform it to something new, right? That's showing off the hobby. I want to anchor my character in the world and tell a cool story. Because for me, I owe it to my opponent. You know, I owe it to my opponent to show up with my painted army and some nice terrain, and so we can tell our story together, right? If I'm going to go play a game that doesn't need painting, I'll pull out my Go board. You feel bad when you have to play. You don't have to play with something unpainted. I've never played with unpainted. Bits of my basing are flaking off. Bits of my, I think that's just unprimed. I don't think. Oh, yeah, a little bit of extra gravel pops off sometimes. You can always drop a little drop of super glue over top after you seal it on. I always seal mine on with like white glue. And then if you feel like it's not going to stick, little drop of super glue after that dries really well goes a long way. Transparent yellow.
One quick tip is if you do with the white glue, thin it out. Otherwise, it might add an extra. It'll soften some of the texture if you've got a rough texture on top. If you put it on too thick.
Yeah, if you're having problems, yeah, that's a good tip. Another good tip, if you're having problems with your basing material sticking, use a hobby knife and scuff up the top. So this was done very quickly. Honestly, I'm gonna be real honest with everybody. This was done very quickly for stream. The texture on top of the base, that is for glue to hold stuff. That's what that texture is for. It's a gripper for glue. So you use white glue, and then you put the sand on it. And then if you want to, after it dries, drop a couple drops of super glue. And then what was your tip, Tony?
Oh, just if you go over the top of it. Sorry, let me use the mic. If you go over the top of your texture with another layer of thinned down.
White glue.
White glue.
Yeah.
That'll work real well. But if you put it on too thick, it can actually change the texture, which can be okay. But if it's not what you're looking for, just be aware that it will change.
Yeah,
If it's too
thin it down with water and you put a layer over it and it seals it up. But you can score it also, like I use a hobby knife to score it. I personally prefer texture paste for my own personal stuff. If you look at my clones that I painted on stream, the bases are more dramatic. I use a lot of slate and different rocks that I found in honestly all across the United States. As I've traveled, I've collected rocks and weird pieces of dirt that I use for basing. And I use putties and texture paste. The primer also helps the sand after you hold it down. And in painting, of course, you put a nice bit of paint over top. That paint is, it's acrylic, so it's plastic. Let's be honest, it's plastic. So it'll kind of shrink and seal. So lots of different ways to go. I did very quick and dirty today for stream. Just being honest with y'all. I will always try to be honest. Typically got no reason to fib. Well, I pay for rocks when my driveway has them for free. Put them in the. There's a lot of ways to clean rocks. There's a lot of things you should do if you're picking up dirt and rocks in the driveway. Like you should bake them on an old cookie sheet that you're not going to use. I just used the wrong damn gray. because there are like little critters and such. But I use purchased rocks. I use rocks I find. I use, I've done some streams where I've done like the little TIE fighter diorama, right? Like that was done with pieces of driftwood. So I just lighten that up just a little bit. Yeah, you really should bake it. You really should. There's microorganisms living in your driveway dirt, and you really need to remove those if you're planning on doing any sort of hobby with outside dirt or wood or anything that you find. Yeah, I've gotten pieces of driftwood from the lake, and you always want to dry them out and bake them, and then of course I coat them in super glue to make sure nothing is living. I don't want anything organic in my hobby stuff. Tony, is it feeling Jose da Vinci, or am I missing the mark?
No, I'm definitely seeing that scritchy scratch up on the flat parts of the helmet. Looks cool because of the slightly more graphic quality.
Yeah, a little more
Soft
graphic.
blend.
Yeah. Yeah, hour and a half. Like just remove any of those little bugs and critters that's in your found wood objects. Boo doo doo boo, boo doo, boop boop, doo 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 doo, boo doo, doop doop.
Oh, you told me to remind you about the palms.
The palms. You know what color her palms are on her gloves, Tony?
I do.
You do now. They're red. She has black gloves with red palms. It's extra evil. That's right. So evil. Do these trim bits in a little off-white. Where am I most excited to go out and eat at Adepticon? That's a great question, Al. I'm going to go ahead and just say Portillo's. Because I love a good Chicago dog. Boop, boop, boo doo doo, boop, boo doo. Red ink, transparent red. Boop, boop, boo doo doo, boop, boo doo, boo doo. Whoa, the whole top just came out the bottle, Tony.
Uh-oh.
You've got red on you.
What's that?
I've got red on me. Oh, thanks. You brought me a paper towel. Man, I just pulled that whole top off. That's not what I want to do at all. It's kind of the entire opposite of what I wanted to do. Just blame Schick.
We already do that for a lot of other things. Can he continue to take it?
Yes. The answer is yes. As much as he dishes out.
Fair point.
So I'm going to do a little bit of the transparent red with a touch of the transparent yellow. Did not fall on a mini. Boop, boo, doo, doo, boop, boo, doo, boo, doo. Man, that red is punchy and making my fingers very red. Oh, she would have been extra evil, yes. So evil. Let's find the bold pyro red. You prefer timid pyro?
That's a good art nerd dad joke.
Can't wait for you to tell your kid next time they bring you a piece of art, Tony. Be like, Dad, look what I did. What'd you do? Paint a timid pyro? Paint bravely, kid.
Followed by a blank stare.
Yeah, they'll be like, I don't get it. Burnt umber and raw umber? What, no one knows how to cook umber? You're dying.
Medium umber. Perfect medium.
I need, where's my medium rare umber? Boo! Boo me. Dark silver. We all met Dark Silver yesterday. Not the hero we deserve, but the hero we got. Dark Silver. Saving the day against the light gold, Dark Silver. I actually like Dark Silver and Silver from Monument mixed together. And then a little touch of blue in there. Dark Silver's never far from your heart. Dark Silver, coming to save the day. Dark Silver. When evil comes and rears its ugly head, Dark Silver will always be there. Saving the day and protecting innocence from bright gold everywhere. Dark Silver will always be there for you. No matter the time of day or night. Dark Silver, probably watching you through the window. Let's make this silver too. Little magnetic ring that the saber connects to. Need that warm golden yellow. Or do I want golden yellow? No, I want warm, yeah, warm yellow. Someday I'm going to get good at getting the extra paint off the top of the monument bottles. Today's not that day. All right, kids, we got 10 minutes. You better get chatting. You better
Now's
get
the
it.
time to throw Dallas a twist.
Oh, a twist. Like a lemon and lime?
More thinking like a last minute request.
Tony, do you know I keep, did you know I keep lemons in my house constantly? Do you want to know why? Can you figure out why?
Because acid is delicious for cooking.
One reason, but not the primary reason. Because I have to put it in my water when I drink it.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Dallas almost always drinks water with lemon when we go out to lunch.
Yeah. Paint with my beard, that'd be terrible. A great big bushy beard. Crusty jugglers. There are dots or brush dabs. Yes. So in miniature painting, it's called stippling. I have seen stippling used as a technique on many paint jobs. I myself have in the past painted an entire miniature only using stippling. If done right, it looks pretty cool. It does take a very long time, though, for the process to really work. But you absolutely can do just tiny dots and create a pretty effective paint job on a miniature. The big thing I will tell you from experience of doing so is you still have to be thinking about form and contrast to make the paint job make sense, but it is 100% doable. 100% doable. And like I said, it takes it takes a little bit. In traditional art, it'd be called pointillism, obviously. Let's use a little glaze medium. Or a lot, whatever. Just a little thin coat of bright red. This is red ink and pyro red mixed together with a little glaze medium to make it translucent. And I like real intense lightsabers, so I like building it up. And then her lip is like a little bit blue. You got 5 minutes. Ask me your questions. Hey, hey, hey. What do you say? Talk to me, friends. Talk to me. Look at that little smirk she's got. Then I need black. A black, cold black. Yeah, if anybody gives the stippling or pointillism miniature a shot, you should totally share it. I've only done a full miniature once, like I said, but it's definitely a technique that is used a lot in miniature for different applications, creating, different effects or textures on different elements. Is this going to be your first time giving classes at Adepticon? Will you do it again next year? This will be the first time I've ever taught classes at Adepticon. Yes. I've taught classes before. But this is my first time at Adepticon. And this is the first time AMG is doing classes. So we'll see how they go and how people respond to them, and then we'll decide from there, won't we? If people like them, maybe we'll do more. Who knows? Tiny dots of red tattoo. And then the other ones go down from her corners of her eyes. And she has some on her cheekbone as well. You sold out within minutes, so AMG classes are. Yeah, we you know, first year, I gotta get my groove back, you know. Gotta get my groove back. So I have several classes, and Brendan has several classes, and Sarastro has several classes. But I wanted to, you know, I still have lots of things I have to do at Adepticon, obviously. Work-wise, so I wanted to make sure I didn't get too overwhelmed the first year back teaching. Paint instruction event at Adepticon. You missed the name of it? Little scritch scratches. But yeah, if the response and the call out is high, then you know we'll consider next year. Maybe we'll do more classes. Vroom, 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 vroom. Yeah, I really like this mini as well. Yeah, get on that waiting list. Well, there's technically for AMG 8 events, because Brendan's teaching I think 4, Mark is teaching 2, and I'm teaching 2, and those are all AMG. Tony, I think we did it. It's 2:02 and we painted a whole miniature.
Yay, we did it. I get to claim some of the credit.
Well, yeah. There's a dot in her eyes white, and we're going to paint them red. Because he's evil. Ooh, I bossed him up. Oh, I really need to turn her upside down. Evil eyes. Painted. 1 hour. Boom. Yeah, we've got a lot of work to do before then, El. It is a lot of work before we get ready for Adepticon, but hopefully you can join us and come hang out with us. Should I look this way now, Tony? Or was I looking this way and you already had it switched, didn't you? Sure. So, remember every Tuesday and Wednesday, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we hang out here on Twitch. You should tell everybody because you had a good time and they want to have a good time because we should all have more good times. Also, for all the latest news, information, and announcements coming from Atomic Mass Games, you should check us out on Twitter and or Instagram. That's where we post the cool stuff as it's coming up and made available for information to your brain meats. So until next week, thanks for joining in, and go be a hero or go be evil. Get some red on you. See you later. Bye. Going to be evil today. After this, in my next meeting, I'm going to be so evil. Evil times coming to everybody in my next meeting.